Afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to another edition of the B&H Virtual Event Space. It's been a long day, but we've got one last event for you, and we're super excited for it. We're very happy to welcome back Ejaz Khan. Ejaz, what's going on? How you doing over there?
Hey guys, thanks for having me back, and thanks for putting up with me, and thanks for the help.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it's our pleasure. For those of you who can't see the screen, and hopefully you can, maybe you're listening on the radio or something like that. Ejaz is going to be talking about why to be a photographer or even a filmmaker. So hopefully you've got some great questions for him. Anything that you want him to answer, please make sure to get those questions in via Zoom. Use the Q&A tab. If you're joining us on Vimeo or Facebook, you can use the comment section. So Ejaz, I'm going to let you take it away. I'm going to go run to the back and watch what you have to say, and I'll see you back in a little while. All right.
cool, thank you. So just to let the audience know that I do have something that I have worked it out with everybody that's helping me. Is the minute I do this, they're going to ask a question because I am fumbling some way or the other, right? I'm off track, I'm not on track, or I'm saying something that's not right. So when you see me do this, just smile and there'll be a question that's coming in. Anyway, so I want to start with telling and confessing. Confessing. I want to confess. I want to confess that I have issues. I have many issues, many issues. And I'm going to use this presentation as therapy. Um, so I can use it as therapy. And if you guys want to help me out here, that'll be great. I have so many therapists. For everybody that has basically come in here, I need the help. I need the therapy. So here comes my 1 hour of therapy. So I'm glad I'm here for you guys. And I'm just going to start with some of my issues. So let me start with one story first. Um, I'm here in New York, and I have two boys. And my older one is hitting those days, hitting about 21, I believe, Jared, and my youngest son, Troy, who is 4 years younger than him, he's about 16. We go to the gym, and the competition comes out for some reason or the other. Men, right? We want to lift heavier weights, we want to do stuff, compete with each other. So here I'm in the gym, and Jared takes 125 pounds, and he's doing he did like 10 squats. And I look at him, I'm like, I can beat you. So I add 10 more pounds to it. I make it 135. One was great, two was great. On the third one, when I was coming up, I felt this huge pain in my knee. And I heard it. I could hear it in my ears. It went crrr. I'm like, oh my God, what happened? I put the weights down. Of course, I lost that. I'm competing with a 21-year-old man. I don't want to tell you guys what my age is, but anyway. And here, 10 minutes later, my knee is that big, to a point where my pants are getting tight at my knee. I come home, everybody's like, go to the doctor, go to the doctor, go to the doctor. I'm like, nope, not going to the doctor. I don't want to go to the doctor. I take ice, I put it on my leg, on my knee. I'm icing it, icing it, icing it, icing it. It's helping a little bit. The pain is insane. The pain is crazy. But I said, no, I'm not going to the doctor. Well, one of the reasons why I didn't want to go to the doctor is because I had a trip to go to Norway. And it was happening in, I believe it was 2 days, 2 or 3 days, one of the two. I said, no doctor, because if I go to the doctor, I know what I heard when I was doing my squats, and I know how it felt. The doctor is going to either want to operate or put me in a cast or do something. The bones were not broken, but he would do something, and I would miss on my trip going to Norway to photograph the muskox. By the way, just fast forward 1 year, I had a torn meniscus. So one of the meniscus just pulled out, and that's the reason why my knee was going absolutely nuts. Anyway, I bring the swelling down. I take my flight and I go to Norway. And there I am sitting with my tracker. His name is Sigbjorn. And I'm having dinner with him, and he says, Ejaz, I think we are out of luck. Tomorrow, there is a huge storm coming. And to me, that was music. I'm like, wow, there's a storm coming? Great. So what can we do? He says, nothing. We're just going to stay in. And then 2 days later, I mean, the storm was supposed to last for about 2 days off and on. And he says, 2 days later, you guys, we can go up and photograph the muskox. I said, nope, that's not what's going to happen. It's a 6-hour hike up into the mountains in Norway, where you can get and see this magnificent animal. And I said, we are going to go set up shop, get there before the storm hits so we can go take some pictures. And he looks at me and he laughs. He's like, you can barely walk. How are you going to hike up 6 hours? So he comes up with a solution. He says, let's get the dog sled. And the way it was set up was that the dog sled would leave us to a certain point, and then after that, I would hike up a little bit, get to the muskox, because if the dogs were there and they would bark, the muskox would go over the mountain to the other side. So before the weather got nuts, we started to go up. I'm going to show you guys this video here just for you to get an idea of what was really happening there weather-wise and the muskox and so on. So here it is. I heard a rooster. I guess it's in my head. So that was the weather there. So now I have actually reached the muskox. I've hiked up, I've reached the muskox. The storm is there. I'm about 15, 20 feet away from these ginormous animals. I mean, they are insane. They are amazing. They are just so gorgeous. They are just so beautiful, yet so powerful. And I'm like, how do I show that? How can I show something that beautiful in my photographs? Because I say 99% of the times my photographs do not even come close to the real beauty of these animals or nature or any of that. So I try to do everything possible to come there, to get as close as how beautiful they really look. So I say, in order for me to do that and show how big and ginormous they are, I must lay down. So the weather is going nuts. It's starting to go nuts at this point. I am about 20 feet away from them, and I decide I want to lay down. My tracker, Sig, thinks I'm absolutely nuts. He's like, Ejaz, stop. I'm like, nope, the only way to shoot these guys are from ground up, right? So I'm laying down. I have my elbow into the ground, my lens, and I'm shooting away. And literally, when these two guys went at each other this way, the ground shook. The vibration went through me. It was just incredible, incredible moment. And then all of a sudden, I hear Sig saying to me, Ejaz, Ejaz, stop, Ejaz, crawl back, Ejaz, crawl back. And the reason why he was saying that is because he saw this one here. And this one was not interested in butting heads with each other. He was interested in butting heads with me or my camera. So slowly but surely, I crawled back, and we were further away from these guys. But it was insane. And they had started to get to a point where these muskox didn't want, I could feel it. Sig could feel it. They just didn't want us there anymore. I mean, they did the posing, they did what I wanted them to do, I think, or what I wished they would do it. And I got the photographs. It was so cold that because of the heat of their body and the weather being so cold, their faces were turning into ice. That's how cold it was. It was absolutely insane. But guess what? I had totally forgotten that I had a busted knee. And while I was shooting, laying down on my belly, everything was fine. The minute I got up, I felt my pants tight again as they were in New York on my knees, and I couldn't move my leg. I could not use my knees. I couldn't even stand up straight, really. So we moved away from the muskox, and then I said to Sig, Sig, either you go down, get some help, come back, because I can't move. Or let's figure out some way to get Ejaz down, because I'm busted. I can't walk. I can't move. I can't do anything. So when I am in the field, I have, my gear is about 60 pounds. My bag and my camera and my lenses and so on. It's about 50 to 60 pounds. We were up in the tent. So the tent weighed approximately, the utensils, the blah, blah, blah that Sig had to take with us weighed about another 150 pounds, I would say. I weighed about 150 pounds then. So in total, maybe there were 400 pounds, 450 pounds, somewhere there. And this man, that's Sig, he says, Ejaz, don't worry. He puts me in a sled. He throws all the equipment, camera bag, his equipment, everything on top of me, ties me up to the sled, and we started to move down. He pulled me for approximately three to 4.5 miles. Once he started pulling me, it turned back into fun, and we started being kids and so on and so forth. But here's a short clip of us playing around after all of that. He's pulling me. He's pulling me on that sled.
How are you, Ejaz?
How
Hello! Woo! This is much funnier than a dog sled.
So bottom line is that, you pain, busted knee, you just forget about all of that. And you just, stay and do what you have to do. And my question and my therapy is why? Why? Why do I do this? Why do I put myself in front of these guys? Why do I put myself with the risk of, he could have just taken me out? And actually, hold on, the story that really happened 4 weeks before I reached over there was a Russian gentleman that tried to get close to them and was killed because one of the Muskox just bumped into him. I knew that because that was the talk of the town. And when I got there, that's what they were speaking about. But why did I do it? Why did I get so close? Why did I risk my knee? Why did I risk anything for that matter? I don't know. Why? Why did I do all of that? So now I'm back. I'm back in New York. It's been some time. Now I'm back from Norway, and I have an opportunity this time to go to the Arctic. And who can give that up, right? I love snow. I love the cold weather. I don't want to say I love being tortured, but it's an opportunity. And to add to it, I was given a chance to go and photograph the Arctic wolves. Insanely beautiful animal. How could I miss that up? But there is an issue with that. And the issue that I have is that I have a problem. I have an issue. And my issue is I just can't operate my camera with gloves. It's impossible. I need to feel the buttons. I need to look at my subject, not my camera. So in order for me to do that, I've tried thin gloves. I've tried things like, maybe putting some kind of horse cream or some cream that somebody gave it to me from Japan, something, I don't know what it was, but I just couldn't do it. No creams, no gloves, no nothing. I must shoot bare hands. And the issue is in places like this, the temperature can go down. Like when I was here, the temperature was minus 36 degrees Fahrenheit. The snow was feeling like bullets on my face. I just couldn't feel my face. It was numb. And then you're going up to the Arctic. Now this Arctic is basically the bigger brother, kind of. So this is the Arctic, and this is not even there. It's halfway there. This is halfway there. You're not there yet. And then when you get there, you are in heaven. Now, I'm going to tell you guys a story after you see the clip. And the heaven that I'm talking about is right there. To me, that's absolute heaven. So you'll notice over here in this clip that I am wearing gloves. But just be clear, there are no animals on the other side. I'm just acting. I'm acting to get this clip to show to you guys how brutal it can get up in the Arctic. There's nothing there whatsoever. No trees, no nothing whatsoever. Just wind, snow, and that's it. But the rewards of that, the rewards of facing and going through all this brutality and craziness, as people may call it, and that is the reward right here. It's, you see the connection here? The connection of this. Now that's a Arctic wolf, and he's that high. He can tear me apart. He was about 7 feet away from me, not in this photograph, but in another one, which I'll show you. But in here, he was not going to see me ever again, because they were going to go on top of the hill and onto the other side. And I was on this side of the hill. And for some way, some reason, I think they knew about it. Look at that look. Does that look like a killer? I don't think so. So that's what you get. You get the connection. See, he's looking at me. I'm right there. I'm right next to him. I'm about 15 feet away from him. He knows that. This photograph over here, I am 7 feet away. Yes, there is a crop, not too much, but I am 7 feet away from this guy who can tear me into pieces. But I don't think they will. I think that's the connection. I think that's what I feel. But you have a price to pay. And that is the price. So if you see over here, my right hand is turned dark and my fingers here are normal. Is that because when I'm photographing, I put my hand into my jacket and the other one is out on the camera. And the frostbite comes in no matter what. Few days later, this is what happens to your hand. At this time, I have absolutely no senses. I have nerve damage in all my hands, all my fingers actually. I have nerve damage. I can't feel much. If I put my hand down here, you have to come and put pressure on it so I know that somebody's putting pressure on it. But if I take this and rub it against it, I don't feel anything. And it's not just my fingers, it's also my face. So it starts this way. It turns into a blister right here. I'm sorry to show you guys these gruesome photographs, but I just wanted everybody to understand and see, why. Why do we do this? Why do we do what we do? That ring on my nose is frostbite. My cheeks have frostbite. Why do I do this? Why? This is how you look when you come back from the Arctic, all beaten up. Your hands are frostbitten, your face is, you have lost. I was there for approximately 9 days out in the field, meaning in the tent and the cabin and so on. I lost approximately 14 pounds. The winds, the temperature was minus 56. But you go through it. In this photograph here, you'll see that's my tracker. And I have actually come back to his house in Greasefield and I've taken a shower. I think that shower was about 2 hours long. So when you're out in the field, there's no showering, right? I was dirty for 9 days, 11 days, and that's how it goes. So the question again is why? Why do I do this? Let me take you guys out of this frozen climate. Let me take you to just the opposite. Let's go here, which is approximately 80 to 100 degrees. It's just the opposite. It's hot. So here I am. I was hired to go take photographs of stray dogs in India. A lot of brutality happening. People are mistreating the dogs. So this outfit that I was working for sent me over to India and said, Ejaz, go there, come back with some photographs. We want people to like these dogs so we can get support, right? So I think that's such a key thing. Like these dogs so we can get them to support these dogs. So of course I'm a photographer and I always am greedy and I want more and I want more and I want more all the time. So I said, okay, I'm going there. They hired me for 4 days. I'm flying all the way from New York to India. Let's just go and make the most out of it. What else can I photograph? What else can I want to photograph? And the answer is very simple. I want to go up in the Himalayas and photograph the snow leopard. It's cold. It's my kind of weather. I love it. I love the torture. So why not go there? So I fly into a city called Ladakh. Ladakh is about 9,000 feet above sea level. So the air is really, really thin. And I'm not used to it. I'm not used to it. Bottom line, I land over there. When I'm walking, I can feel it. I'm panting a little bit. It's not normal. So I asked the guy, he says, you have to climatize yourself. I'm like, I'm going to be fine. I'm Superman. I work out a lot. Why not? I can get over this. What's the big deal? So he says, it's going to be about 2-3 days before we start heading up to the Himalayas to get the snow leopard. I'm like, nope, that's not happening. It's going to happen tomorrow. And he's like, no, sir, we cannot do this. I'm like, I don't want to hear it. I'm fit. I can do it. He gives in. I mean, they live there, so, they know what can happen, but at the same time, they're used to it. So here I am the next day. Ejaz, the head tracker, and we were supposed to stay up there for 2.5 weeks. So all the food, the tents, the utensils, all of that had to be carried up to the Himalayas. So we had 6 donkeys to carry all the stuff up. We had the head tracker, and then we had 6 Sherpas to help with everything else. Bottom line, it's about 12,000 feet, maybe 13, I'm not sure. So it's taken us about 4 hours, maybe 6, I don't remember. And my chest, my heart is jumping out of my, I can hear it. I can hear my heartbeat in my ears. My head is spinning and I don't know what's going on. So the tracker, he looks at me, he's like, sir, are you okay? Sir, are you okay? I'm like, yeah, I'm fine. And the minute I said I'm fine, I throw up. I throw up, and all these guys, they just surround me and they're looking at me and they're talking amongst themselves. Now, mind you, India is a vast country. It's huge. And there are so many languages. I am from India, but I don't understand their language. Their language and where I come from in the south of India is not the same. I'm looking at them, I'm like, guys, what are you saying? What are you saying? Am I okay? And he says, sir, you're green. Green? He's like, yeah. So anyway, he takes out his oxygen meter. He puts it in my finger. He takes the measurements. I'm 47. 47. Norm is 90. 84 or 90, something like that. But anyway, I'm 47. I can't even see 2 feet past me. So there's a decision that has to be made. Either we leave Ejaz up here, maybe he'll get better, or he'll get a heart attack, go into a coma, or he'll die. That's the option. Or chances are he may be okay. The other option is, which is also a very dangerous option, and the option is put him on the donkey, let 2 guys help him. So 3 donkeys run down all the way, send him to the hospital. And I'm like, I'll take my chances down in the hospital. I'd rather not just stay here because there's no help. No electricity, no help, no telephone, no nothing whatsoever. I mean, we're out in the wilderness, up in the mountains. Bottom line, I reached the hospital. I'm pulled out my phone. I'm trying to call my wife. I'm trying to call my boys. cellular service does not work. I'm trying to call my sister who lives in India, but the south of India, it's not working. Slowly but surely, they put me on a stretcher, rushed me to the hospital. I don't know where I am. All I remember is them pulling up my sleeves and putting in some IV and giving me oxygen. Done. I'm out. So I pass out. About 6 hours later, I get up. I'm looking around, and it literally reminds me of World War II. It wasn't a room. It was a long, long, long ward of about 50 to 100 beds. Now I can hear in another corner, people are crying. Apparently someone had died. I open my eyes and I'm looking up at the windows, and the windows are broken. Broken. You can see straight through it. The fans that's moving is all rusty. And I'm like, what? Where am I? I need help. I'm starting to take out the oxygen. And the nurse comes running at me. And she's like, sir, you cannot do that. And I take off the blanket that was on top of me. I was with all my clothes and they had covered me with the blanket. I was hot. When I take off the blanket, I look and I am laying in a pool of blood. And there's blood. And I go insane. I'm screaming, what happened to me? What's wrong with me? Where am I bleeding from? And I just am yelling and screaming and shouting. And I feel so alone because I cannot get in touch with anybody, anyone, no friends, no family, nothing whatsoever. And I'm not feeling right. And I'm in blood. Where am I bleeding from? And then she says, sir, stop. There's nothing wrong with you. You just need oxygen. That's not your blood. That's not your blood. That wasn't my blood. I was laying in somebody else's blood. Somebody else that was there before me. Who was in that bed before? Anyway, I get back to my hotel. I forced the doctor to send me the oxygen and the IV and everything, and the nurses and whatnot. They came over to my room. I refused to be in the hospital. I mean, please don't get me wrong. If they didn't treat me, I would be dead. Again, so that popped another question, right? Why? Why did I go through that? That's me in bed, feeling lonely by myself. So anyway, I come back from there and I head down south in India. I'm taking pictures of dogs. That's my job. They've hired me for 4 days. I'm supposed to do this. So here I am in the garbage. And mind you, it's about 80 degrees. No, I don't have gloves on. It's about 80 degrees. Sometimes it goes up to 100. And this is garbage. You know what's really happening here? It's cooking. The garbage is cooking. That means the smell is crazy. The smell from this location is embedded in my brain. The mosquitoes, the flies. And the dogs are right there. So I have no choice but to be there. I have no choice but to be next to these dogs and next to this garbage. These dogs could have had rabies. The guy could have just come up to me and bit me. But here's another interesting one here. Now, I'm sure you guys don't know how to read this, but if you read this, you see this 500. What it says really is that if you throw garbage you'll be fined $500. I mean, not dollars, rupees. I take it back. Sorry about that. But bottom line, what have we done here? Right? What have we done? We have made these animals so dependent on humans that they have no choice but to eat from our garbage. And that is a shame. And that, to me, is a shame on us. So again, why do I sit in garbage? Again, I ask myself this question, why? Why am I sitting in garbage? Why am I taking the risk of my life? Why am I getting frostbite? Why am I standing in front of this animal that can tear me apart? Why? Why? I see a lot of beauty. I see a lot of beauty in his face. I see a lot of beauty in his face as well. I see a lot of beauty in our world. And I think that is undeniable. It's beautiful. Where we live is beautiful. Everybody that's on this planet is beautiful. Anyway, I get back. I'm in New York, and now I have an opportunity to go to North Dakota and photograph horses. These are the Nakota horses that are about 340 in one herd. I'm there, I'm photographing. Nothing is wrong with this story. The temperatures are 60 to 80 degrees, beautiful. And the more I go there and the more I photograph them, the more I find out about Frank. Frank basically is a Vietnam veteran. He has an absolutely incredible story. And I believe that his story must be told. He started off with one horse. Today he's got 300 of these Nakota horses. And the story is Frank is dying. And once Frank dies, these horses will not have a place to stay. Where are they going to go? Where are they going to live? He's done everything possible to save this breed of horses. What is going to happen with them? And I'm saying to myself, I must tell this story. Why? I don't know. It's beautiful. It must be told. People must be aware of this. I must tell the story. So I started to make a documentary. I filmed the documentary 4 times. It did not work. My work was horrible. I didn't like what I did. So then I changed the story a little bit. I bent it and I converted that into a feature film. What I did different in that film was that I used the real people to play the real part, because I think that the beauty of their lives, the story, the beauty of their lives had to be told by them and nobody else. No one else can tell me the story about this horse but this horse. And my job is basically to share that story. So that's Frank. That's Paul. Also a huge part of saving this herd. It's his land that they live on right now. This here is Christine. Also, she played herself. Neva, she played herself. Lacey is an actress from New York that we have. She's a friend of mine. Over here, we have June, our producer, Frank, myself, of course, Michael, another actor, Peter, another actor, a friend. Christine is playing herself, and Neva is here. Of course, Kachina is playing. Kachina is the horse playing herself. Now, why did I choose to make it more difficult? Why did I choose to say to myself, why should I hire actors? And I think the answer is very simple. No one else can tell their story. Yes, I made it into a fictional film, but it's their story. Who else can tell their story better than they can? Who else can tell his story better than he can? And I think the story is right there in his face. So, anyway, coming back to this film, bottom line, I was filming and I was here and I was filming Paul, and that's my leg. And I apologize showing you this way, but that's what happens to you when a horse kicks you. Sorry, I take it back. That's what happens to you when a horse taps you. So I was filming, and the horse just rubs back and she shakes me. She rubs my back and she moves on and she shakes me. I'm like, come on, really? She turns around, she comes back, and she does exactly the same thing again. So I said, you know what? Let me teach her a lesson. I bend over a little bit and I just tap her with my leg. I had no intentions of kicking her. I just wanted to move away so she doesn't push me. And bang! Ejaz on one side, camera on the other side. Paul is screaming, Ejaz, you okay? It was a nightmare. It was a nightmare. That leg was like that. This is 3 days later. Anyway, so I'm going to show you guys my trailer for the film, Vanishing Knowledge. Take a look. Oh, what happened here? There you go.
Last thing I want to see is these horses going to slaughter.
They've done so much for me. You guys don't even understand. Just worried about my horses. Oh, they almost were extinct at one time, and I just ain't gonna let that happen again.
I didn't know that Frank's been fighting his whole life to save this horse breed.
You cannot imagine how much these horses have done for Lacey. I wish we could do this for so many more people. Gina's Michael's friend.
Yeah.
Good job. My entire childhood, I watched you borrow money and take care of these horses. It's time to take care of yourself now. When's the last time you were at the doctor? Honey, you're scaring me. Please tell me what the doctor said. What's going to happen to his herd? Where are they going to live? I don't know what's going to happen to his herd.
Anyway, getting back to my why. Why do I do this? Why do I want to get kicked by a horse? Why do I want to go take real people and have them act for me? Because it literally took me 2 years to complete this film. 2 years. We went through, at times, certain scenes. We did about 128 takes, 40 takes, 50 takes, 70 takes, 128 takes. Why did I put myself through that torture when I could have hired a professional actor? I believe the only reason why I did that is because no one else can tell their story better than they can. No one else can tell Christine's story better than she can. So yes, they're not actors. And yes, we all were learning. But I think they can tell their story better. I think the rewards of going through all of this is not that. It's a photograph. It's not that either. That's the snowy owl. It's beautiful. It's not the reward. That's not why I do this. It's not the reward. That's not why I do it. I love these images. I do. I love my Arctic wolves. I do. I was lucky I got them. There are many other photographers, better photographers, who've gone up, attempted this, and could never come back with a photograph just because they didn't get lucky. I got lucky. But I do it. I do it because I believe that we live in a beautiful, beautiful place, our planet Earth. And I believe it's my job to bring the beauty of everything as a photographer, as a filmmaker, and bring it forward so people can see it. People that are less fortunate, or people that are not interested in going through what I go through, to see these animals one on one or in a photograph. I feel it's my job. I feel it's my job to share the beauty of our world to everyone. Because if people see how beautiful our world is, we will start taking care of it much better than we have in the past. And I hope this beauty can inspire people to take care of our world, take responsibility of climate change, be mindful of what you're doing every single day. Don't throw that plastic piece of wrapper in the garbage or on the street. And I think that is my why. Insanity, maybe, but that is my why. I get up in the morning excited. I get up in the morning wanting to go and get my fingers frostbitten. I get up in the morning wanting to get my legs kicked by another horse. Because you know what? That is what I get to give this to everybody else. And if this is received properly, then every single person will take care of our earth. And I think that is everything. You take care of the planet that you live on. So that's my why. And I'm going to ask everybody who's listening to my, I call it mumbo jumbo, what is your why? Why do you want to be a photographer? Why do you want to be a videographer? Why do you want to be anything for that matter? And I think if you don't have a why, you're just living. Do you want to just live, or do you want to live with a purpose? Do you want to live with a why? So this has absolutely nothing to do with success, with failure. It's simply knowing your why, simply knowing why you even are here. And I hope this has helped people. And I hope you guys are going to shoot out questions to me to help me. Why do I do this? Help me here. Anyway, before that happens, I want to pitch something. So Vanishing Knowledge is coming out on the 29th on Vimeo. And I think it's going to come out on Amazon, Google, and iTunes in March or April, something like that. And there's another pitch here. How can I leave you guys without a pitch? If you pre-order Vanishing Knowledge on Vimeo, here's the link. You will get it cheaper than when you pass the 29th. After the 29th, I believe our pricing is higher. And there's another thing I would like everybody to know is that 49% off, 49%, I'm not going to give 10%. I'm not going to give 20%. I want to give 49% goes to the horses. And the reason why it goes to the horses is because Frank has cancer. We don't know how long he's going to live. God willing, he'll live forever. But when he goes, these beautiful animals will not have a place to go. I'm sure Paul is going to do everything to help, but everybody has their hands tied some way or the other. So please try to support the film. Get a pre-order done if you can. If not, watch it after the 29th on Vimeo. And here is one last pitch, guys. I'm sorry. You can send the questions over and they will ask me. But here's the pitch. We are creating another film. It's a sad, sad topic. It's called Trapped. It's about human trafficking, not in India, not in China, here in America. And it's going to be filmed in December. So please, if you can, join, follow us on Instagram, support it. And I promise you, it's not a beautiful subject, but it will be beautiful once you know that someone, after watching this film, has taken charge and not gone into the hole. Anyway, that's all I have to say. Any questions?
Ejaz,
Yes.
dang it, man. That was wonderful to listen to.
Thank
It
you.
was, if nothing short, I think I don't even think it does it justice to say, but it's inspiring to hear you talk about your journey, and yeah, I'm blown away. I'm blown away. I'm at a loss for words, which is rare because I'm a man who can just blabble on like for forever. So I wanna first start off. Actually, I wanna kind of like out you over here, because most people, and we always talk about this, before we go live, we always have kind of a little green room session, if you will, and we chit chat beforehand and get everything out in the air, any last things that have to kind of be gone over. And Ejaz said to me, he was joking around about rubbing his nose and everything like that, and he said to me, he said, I'm so nervous right now. He said, I don't know if I'm going to do this, and I don't even know why you have anything to be nervous about, because it's just absolutely wonderful to hear you listen about your process and how you got everything, and how you go out there, and just it's a true testament, the fact that you're willing to go out there and put yourself into a situation where you get frostbite, or you need to be hooked up to an oxygen tank or anything like that. I mean, if that's not passion and that's not inspiring to anybody, then I think that maybe you're in the wrong spot. One thing that I think I'd love to know, and I think other people are kind of wondering out there, is we talk a little bit about finding your why. How long would you say it took you to really start, not necessarily understanding exactly what it was, but till you started realizing and figuring that out and knowing you were on the right path?
I have to say that there is no science behind it. I think, or at least for me, there is no science behind it. For me, it's the emotions, the feelings. And I didn't know that I would go do wildlife photography. I created a film in 2014, which didn't go anywhere because I didn't even complete the film. I was so depressed. So I went off to Alaska and I started to photograph animals, bears to be precise. And I have to say something, something happened. Something happened, and there is no formula to it. There is no tick mark to it. There's something that happens. And when that something happens, you will know it. And once I found that, it's a drug. How can you go back and not take that drug again and again? And then when you start to put sense into it and you start to say, why am I doing this? I can be a fashion photographer, that I am, in New York, and make a living and everything is okay, but why do I have to do this? And then slowly but surely, that feeling gives you a sense of responsibility. And once you follow that responsibility and you know your responsibility, then you cannot look back. That's how it is. I mean, I believe my responsibility is to show everybody how beautiful our planet is.
That's a wonderful way of putting it. And I guess also, getting kicked by a horse is definitely, an adrenaline rush. So there's always that, if anyone's wondering about that. Sally's joining us on Facebook, so thanks for tuning in and joining us today, Sally. Wanted to know, could you maybe talk a little bit about your gear, what you use, maybe some of the stuff that goes into it setting wise when you go out there on shoots?
So, Sally, thanks for the question. But I'm a photographer. I've been a photographer for the longest time, maybe 27, or that'll give away my age, I guess, right? Maybe 27, 35 years, something like that. And if you want me to talk about gear, all I'm going to say is I am super lazy. I try my best to have the least amount of gear possible. And if I'm going to go photograph an Arctic wolf, then of course I'm going to carry a 400 or a 500 or a 600. If I'm going to go to North Dakota and take photographs of horses, then I'm going to carry a 70 to 200. So it all depends on what you are shooting, but I think the gear is not the most important part, at least not for me. The most important part for me, and I think if you may try to think this way, is this guy, my friend here. I don't know if you can see the cursor. He was looking in my eyes. And that, to me, you cannot use any gear to get that to you. And I think that is the willingness. The biggest and the best gear that I have is the willingness to get torn apart into shreds by him. And I think that is your most amazing gear you can get. When it comes to camera stuff, of course, every single camera, Canon, Nikon, Sony, Fuji, everybody's great. I have gone through all of them. I've gone through Canons, and I've gone through my Nikons, and I've gone through my Sonys. No, not gone through, I'm still going through them. And I think they are so close in quality. They are so amazing that how could you go wrong with anything? And another thing on gear I'm going to say to you is I'm very lazy. I don't learn my cameras. So it's very simple. I buy the camera. It can do all these things. It can probably go to my kitchen and cook food for me. But I turn it on manual, and then I go old school. And I say, this guy is white. The snow is white. So let me open up 2 stops. And I use this gear better than this gear. And I just do that, and my settings remain the same. And that's the end of the story. I mean, if you have anything specific, I will answer it. But as far as gear is concerned, I think everything is great.
That's it. And so that's interesting, talking about this wolf. I'm assuming that's a wolf. I could
It
be
is.
Yeah, I could be completely wrong. I'm not. I wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed when it came to animals, but but so is that part of the process? Is just being committed to that, that letting go of that fear, so to speak, and being willing to put yourself in a situation where, he's staring you down, and he might eat you. That might be, Ejaz dinner.
Yes. And I don't think that it's letting go of the fear, because I don't think I can ever let go of the fear. I am so fearful. I think it's just managing your fear. And I think it's just overcoming your fear is what allows me to say, I'm not here to hurt you. Please don't hurt me. That's the only you can never let go of your fear, because I think fear is such an important and amazing tool to have. Because if you're scared, I don't know about you, but when I get scared, my whole body is in I can feel every hair on my skin. So when I'm afraid, I'm so sharp. Now I just need to control it, knowing that he will not shred me into pieces.
At least not for this shot.
Yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. Well, Ejaz, it's always a pleasure to have you here. Honestly, last time you came here and you presented us a little bit on the Vanishing Knowledge documentary that you shot. So if you haven't yet, I know it's not out, but if you haven't seen it, you could always rewatch our previous event with Ejaz. It's up on our Vimeo page as well as our Facebook page, BH Event Space. Or vimeo.com/BH Event Space. You could check that out, see him talk a little bit about the process of filming that and getting that together. Can you share one more time for everybody in case they didn't have an opportunity to catch it, where they can view it and that QR code, I think it was. There you go. So this is how you can, pre-order the film. Definitely recommend you go out there. Listen, I don't get paid anything extra to, promote this stuff, but Ejaz, I think it's such a great cause. And I think what you're doing out there is really good. And, if you're passionate about it, if you care, I agree. I think if you care about the environment or anything like that is a great way to get involved. So, can't wait to have you back, because I know you'll be back again. I know this isn't the last time we're going to see Ejaz Khan, and I look forward to it. I look forward to some more stories and some more, just uncanny events that are going to happen, because I know that they're going to happen. But I want to thank you again so much for being here, Ejaz.
Not at all. Pleasure's mine. Thank you, everybody, for listening to me go on. So thank you.
Yeah, our pleasure. And to everybody at home, we hope you enjoyed this event along with all the other events we streamed for the day. It's a packed day, but we'll be back tomorrow. Don't worry. You don't have to wait too long to see us. Have a great night, everybody. This is another edition of the B&H Virtual Event Space. We'll see you next time.